How's it going, all you beautiful people? Have you ever thought about vending at a Pokemon card show? Or wanted to vend at a Pokemon card show? Or just had the thought of how it is to vend at a Pokemon card show? Well, if you've had any of those thoughts, this video is for you. And even if you haven't, maybe this will make you think about vending at a Pokemon card show. And I just want to kind of have a conversation on, I guess, vending at a Pokemon card show. I'm not an expert. I've only vended at 5 total days of card shows this year, and that's pretty much the extent of my card show experience. But I just want to put out this video because I know, and I've talked to other people, I know there's people that have wanted to vend at a card show. And my opinion is that if you want to vend at a card show, check these boxes off first, and then I would say just go do it. So the first thing is you have to like Pokemon. I would say that if you don't genuinely like Pokemon, you should not vend at a Pokemon card show. That's just my opinion. You can feel free to disagree, but that's just what I think. The second thing is if you're in it just for the money, I would say there's a lot of other jobs out there. Even within the Pokemon space, there's a lot better ways to make money than vending specifically at a card show if you're just in it for the money. So I would say if you like Pokemon and if you aren't in it just for the money, I would strongly consider vending at a card show. And these are the reasons why. Let's say you made your own business. Let's say you had your own product. You made your own product. There's a lot that goes into making your own business. You have to come up with the product. You have to market the product to other people. And I'm not a business expert. I don't own a business. I'm just talking off the top of my head. So I'm sure there's business experts out there. But I mean, if you are running a business and you have a product, you got to make the product. You got to market the product. You got to market the product to people that are in the population that you want to market to. You got to get them to buy it. And then you also have to think about margins, how much it costs to make it, how much it costs for all the services that you need to get the product and to make the product. And then when you sell it, you have to think about how much you're selling it for, how much margins there are in terms of how much you sold it for versus how much all the costs are. So there's a lot of stuff to it. Pokemon in specific, they do all that work for you. If you go to a Pokemon card show and you go up to someone and say, do you know what Pokemon cards are? They're gonna be like, of course I know what Pokemon cards are. So when it comes to selling and buying and trading Pokemon cards, you already don't have to do the hardest thing in business. You don't have to market the product. When someone comes up to your table at a card show, they're not sitting there going like, do I wanna buy Pokemon cards? Because they're at the card show to buy Pokemon cards. So the expectation is when they walk into the card show, they're going to go from table to table. And sure, if they know somebody, if they know that somebody's an influencer that they follow, they'll probably go buy the card from there because there are a lot of the same cards on a lot of the same tables. But you don't have to actually market the product. You just take the product, you price it out. You don't even have to price it out if you don't have time to. I mean, it's probably better to price out cards. But even if you don't and just take the cards, you will still be able to sell stuff because you can just take your cards, take it to a card show, put it on your display, put it in a binder, put it for people to see, and just be friendly with people. I would say that one thing is if you want to vend at a card show, I would say you need to enjoy talking to people and especially talking to people about the Pokemon hobby to a certain extent. Just because for however long the card show is, whether it's 6, 7, 8 hours, you are going to be talking to a lot of different people. And I'm not a card show expert. I've only vended at 5 different days of card shows this year, and that's basically the extent of my card show career. But in those 5 days, even as a nobody, when I first vended at my first card show, nobody knew who I was. I was just somebody who liked Pokemon and was like, I'm going to sign up for this and see how it goes. I took my Pokemon cards, took it to the card show, and then just kind of put it out there and saw how it went. And after the first card show, I had so much fun meeting people that I decided I was going to do it more. So after 5 card shows, I really enjoyed it. So I want to do it some more. So that's my overall thoughts. I think that I watch a lot of videos. I watch a lot of Pokemon videos. There's a lot of people that I don't necessarily agree with it, but they'll sit there and be like, I'm a better vendor than this person, or I don't like how a lot of people vend, or I can do this better than somebody, or I started vending because I looked at other people and I was like, I can do this way better than other people. And as much as I agree with it, I do think that obviously when you do something for the first time, there's going to be a learning curve to it. And there will always be people that are better than you at it. There will always be someone that's better than you at vending. There, even if you're vended for 2, 3 years, there will be somebody who is bigger than you, who's an influencer, who has been vending for a long time. Sorry, I just ran and showered, so I'm. It's not sweat. It's just like shower after shower water that's dripping. So that's what I'm wiping off. But there's always gonna be people that are better than you at something, and I don't think that should stop anyone from anything. As somebody who vended for the first time with no real connections in the space, I just signed up. So I would say look for your local card shows, look at where you're at, what kind of car shows there are. You're not going to be able to vend at every car show. Some bigger car shows will only allow returning vendors who have vended at previous events to vend at their next event. And when they release it to those people, it'll already have been sold out. But there's a lot of car shows that you'll be able to vend at by just looking at when signups release and then just signing up for a table. I have a lot more opinions on this. I just kind of wanted to put it out there. The one thing that you do have to consider is a lot of people think that they don't really think about the cost when they first vend. Maybe some people do, but after vending for 5 days of shows, and I do have videos of how much I made at the 5 shows. So if you want to look at one of my previous videos, I broke down what I made that show and then the 4 previous shows. So I have a couple of videos showing how much I made at the card shows and telling you a little bit about the numbers. But one thing to keep in mind is I would say if you only have a portfolio of about $500 to $1,000, it's probably not the best idea to vend unless you can get a table for free. And let me break down why. So let's say you have a $1,000 portfolio of Pokemon cards that you can vend with. You bring all 1,000 cards and you sell all 1,000 cards. Most people will say you have a margin about 20%. That's pretty conservative, but I would say being conservative is good. So you have a margin about 20%. So even if you brought $1,000, your whole portfolio, and sold all $1,000 of it, which isn't going to happen. You're not going to sell $1,000. You're not going to sell your whole portfolio unless someone comes and just buys you out. But if they do, they're probably not going to pay 190% like you would normally sell it for. But let's say that best case scenario, you take $1,000, you sell all $1,000, you have a 20% margin. That's $200 of profit from that $1,000. And a lot of shows, the table costs will be $100, $120, $150, depending on how big the card show is, where in the card show you get the table, better locations you pay more. But let's say the table costs $150. So profit-wise, with margin of 20%, you made $200. The table cost is $150. You walk away with $50 of profit. I feel like at that point, it probably would have been better to just not buy the table. And if you want to sell your collection, just sell it to somebody for 80% because you probably would make more money that way because you don't have the 150%, $150 table fee. So that's what I think. I mean, you can tell me what you think about that, but I would say once you hit about $5,000 of cards, you'll be able to take that, sell some of it. A lot of people say you'll sell about 10 to 20% of what you bring. You'll be able to sell it, buy more cards, grow your inventory and things like that. So that's one other thing. Like your starting point of your inventory isn't going to be how much you have forever. For example, I've only vended at 5 card shows and I'm trying to buy a lot of things. One of the hardest things is to source cards because when you go to a card show, you're going to walk away with less cards unless someone brings a lot of cards to your table to sell. But I've always sold more than bought at card shows, even if I've been willing to buy. And the hardest thing is to find cards. But even with that, with some effort, asking around your Facebook groups, asking around locally, you'll take that portfolio and slowly make it more because you'll sell stuff, buy some stuff more with 20% margin. You'll make some money. You'll put that money to buy some more cards and you'll sell that and then buy some more cards. And eventually your $5,000 portfolio will be $6,000 and $7,000 and $8,000. So yeah, that's just some of my thoughts on vending. I feel like People have reached out to me about videos that I've made about I'm considering vending, but I don't want to pull the trigger. So my whole thing is if you're considering vending and if you've ever thought about it, just try it. Worst case scenario, you'll try it. You'll realize it's not for you. You at least tried it and then you'll move on with your life. For me, I told myself I was going to vend and I made excuses for a whole year or months until I finally pulled the trigger. So I would say that if you are just thinking about doing it, just do it and then see how it is. I mean, the nice thing is when you sign up for a car show, they're not asking you for your business experience, they're not asking for your resume, they're not doing interviews to try to get you to vend. It's a pretty open, easy to entry thing to do. So I would say just try it if you want to do it. So that's just my thought of the day. I mean, let me know if you have any questions about vending or if other questions come up to the top of your head as you're watching this that I can answer for you. I'm not an expert at this, but I will say that because of that, I can relate more to people who have this idea of wanting to vend because I am early in my journey and I just want to share my journey. I'm somebody who works a full-time job. I don't plan on doing this full-time. I'm doing this on the side on top of my full-time job because I enjoy it and I'm just kind of seeing where it goes. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'd really appreciate it if you would drop a subscription to my YouTube. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube. That's my goal as of right now. I'm kind of far away. I'm at 300 something subscribers on YouTube. So it is a long-term goal, but I will keep grinding until I get it. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And then I'd really appreciate it if you would upvote my videos, like my videos, especially upvote my YouTube video, drop a comment. It really helps with the algorithm, helps other people be able to see the videos. And yeah, I really appreciate it. Drop a comment, drop me a DM. I'd love to talk with you guys. So let me know what you think. But I really appreciate you watching it this whole way through, and I'll see you next time.